Good day, friends. My name's Wayne Elliott. I'm the president of the Strauss Naturals Company. I started out a customer 30 years ago after a heart attack 35 years ago, 36 years ago. So the luckiest day of my life is when I found out about Strauss and the Strauss heart drops specifically. So thanks for joining me today. I appreciate your time, and I hope you will hear things that you haven't heard before about our health and wellness and illness, of course. So away we go. First of all, Strauss herbal formulas do not contraindicate with any pharmaceutical drugs. They are as different as food and man-made chemical drugs. There were no chemical drugs when humans were created, and we really don't have equipment inside us to handle them. And hence that our liver and kidneys, primarily the liver, catch a lot of the heck, and all the chemicals go there, not just from pharmaceuticals, from smoking, drinking. Most of our fruit and vegetables have chemical sprays on them, insecticides, pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, chemical fertilizers, and often chemical preservatives. So that way up here in Canada, we can get fruit from Florida and California. So plastic, so much plastic today is made from chemicals. We are literally surrounded by chemicals. And as Jim Strauss always said, these genetically modified foods are not natural. They're man-made. Seedless fruits and vegetables are genetically modified. It turns out that 93% of all the products on our grocery store shelves are or contain genetically modified organisms, not natural foods. So we've truly never been more challenged than today, than these days, with all of these factors serving to work against us, really. And it's difficult, more difficult than ever, to eat healthy and eat things that are good for us. But back to there is no contraindication, no harm combined with your pharmaceuticals. I would like to say that when you're on any man-made chemical drugs and pharmaceuticals, pay a special attention to the potential side effects, potential serious and harmful side effects. In the drug company's defense, they do tell us. And I think personally, that's the most important part of the paperwork that you get with your prescriptions to read. And that way, if you're suffering any of the side effects or harmful effects, you can let your doctor know, and he or she can act accordingly, whether it's change your dosage, put you on a different type of pill. If you don't know, then you can really be at serious risk of harm. So do read your paperwork, please. Take the few minutes and focus on that. That's most important if you're having a serious side effect. In 46 years now, that Strauss has been in commercial business, there have been no complaints, not one, to the US FDA, to Health Canada, or to the Strauss Company about a serious or harmful effect from taking the Strauss formulas, not one. So these formulas are 100% natural. They are safe and no contraindication with pharmaceutical drugs. And best of all, your satisfaction is guaranteed. The Strauss Company has no dissatisfied customers and does not wish any. So if for any reason you want to return the product, you will get a full refund. That doesn't happen very often, I can assure you. The formulas are very effective, and I'm living proof of that. My parents, hundreds of football players, and many tens of thousands of customers over these almost 46 years that the formulas have been available. Most of the formulas, except for the Strauss heart drops, are meant to be taken a minimum 3 months. Some people need them longer. If you're having issues with your kidneys or your bladder or prostate in men. Some people need to take them longer. And again, your satisfaction is guaranteed. With the products that involve or are involved with our urinary tract, the kidney formula, the bladder formula, the prostate for men, they all have the gold nature's strongest antibiotic herb. And so in our experience, you will get relief from your symptoms very quickly. Usually within a week, you will notice quite a change. Please, you're not better in a week. It's a process to have health trouble. It doesn't just happen overnight. It's a process, and it's a process to help ourselves and be rid of those troubles. So minimum 3 months on any of the formulas. The Strauss heart drops we recommend for a minimum of 1 year. Again, that's a process. Cholesterol, restricting our blood flow, blocking our blood flow completely. We have 50,000 miles of vessels and veins. Many of them you can't see with the naked eye, but 50,000 miles, twice around the earth in each of us. It's if it wasn't fact, it's almost impossible to believe, but it is a fact. The reason is that every single cell in our body needs blood. Our hair needs it on our head, our toenails need it, and every cell in between. Hence, it is the most important body function. The natural herbs used in the formulas all have historical evidence of their use and effectiveness and what they're especially good for. You can go to pubmed.gov and see many of the clinical studies. I think there's probably the most on garlic, just hundreds and hundreds of studies on how beneficial an herb that is for us. And of course, it is the main herb in the famous Strauss heart drops. If you have circulation issues of any kind, restricted blood flow, diabetics especially, that is their big challenge, is blood flow and circulation. The Strauss heart drops are for you. Keeping in mind your satisfaction is guaranteed and they are safe. No contraindication with any of the pharmaceuticals you might be on. Other things that we all know, but that are important, we need to drink enough good water. It is absolutely necessary. There is no safe way around it. Our bodies are about 62% water, our lungs even more. I believe it's 80-something%. Our lungs are made of water, and it is very, very important. It's quite wise to start your day with a large tumbler of warm water with lemon in it. I also put my granular vitamin C in my morning water. And to finish our day, it's a great way to finish our day with warm water with lemon in it again. If you're constipated, look towards the water. It turns out that very few of us actually drink as much as we should. Carrying a big bottle around all day and taking a sip here and there, that doesn't do it. Somebody my size, 200 pounds, should drink 10 or 12 bottles of water a day. It's a lot of water, but it's just so important. During the wintertime, when we generally aren't as thirsty, it's equally important. If you have cracked lips, cracked hands, or if you're constipated, it's a good sign that you aren't getting enough water. It's just so important. I can't emphasize that enough. Force yourself if necessary. That's what I do. I drink more than I want to drink. I'm not thirsty, but I realize how important it is. And as Jim Strauss used to say, death starts in the colon. So constipation is not a condition that you want to live with. You want to use the bathroom regularly and bowel movements daily and get the waste out, the waste and the toxins. That's the water. if you're going to lose a lot of weight, if you're on a major weight loss program, this is so important to consider and do. Not necessarily before, but either before or during your weight loss program, you want to detox. You want to cleanse your tissues and organs. And if we just take a person that, say, is 300 pounds and their goal is to be 200 pounds, that's a lot of weight to lose. Now, they say the average human has 30 pounds of waste and toxins in each of us. It's likely that someone 300 pounds has more than that. But if we just use 30 pounds as an example, at 300 pounds, and if a person doesn't cleanse and detoxify, and get rid of the wastes and toxins as we lose the weight, a larger percentage of our mass becomes waste and toxins. If we're 10% waste toxins at 300 pounds body weight, and we go to 200 pounds body weight and don't cleanse or detox, we have 50% more, or we're now 15% of our body mass is waste and toxins. And likely, like I do, you all know people who have lost a great deal of weight, didn't look good. I've always found the first signal is uneven color in the skin, red, blotchy face, for example. And often they get sick, and often they die from that illness. You certainly don't want to increase the amount of waste and toxins in your body. So if you're going on a major weight loss program, I would say of more than 15 or 20 pounds, you want to detoxify and cleanse. And that's primarily what the Strauss formulas do, is help our body get, whether it's plaque and cholesterol in our blood vessels and arteries, our carotid arteries that go on both sides of our neck, that bring the oxygen and blood to our brain. You want to have 100% blood flow, just as we were intended to have and how we were created in the first place. Restricted blood flow, we tend to think blocked arteries and so forth cause only heart attacks and strokes, and they do. A stroke is like a brain attack from lack of oxygen to our brain. Our brain uses 20% of all the oxygen that we take in. If we don't take in enough, our brain's getting 20% of not enough oxygen. It's as simple as that. So very, very important blood flow. It is the most important body function. The stomach ailments. I believe in Canada, we spend about $40 million a day in hospitals on stomach ailments of one type or another. Ulcers, bleeding ulcers, and various other ailments in the stomach. The best probiotic, bar none, is not the $100 a bottle probiotics that you can buy. It's European sauerkraut. 2 ingredients only, cabbage and salt. Not with wine or vinegar, that can hurt your stomach. Just cabbage, green cabbage, and salt. There is no probiotic like it. All fermented vegetables are good probiotics, but there's nothing like sauerkraut. And if you have stomach ailments, before you eat every meal, even snacks, take a couple of good forkfuls of sauerkraut, chew it well. Digestion starts with our saliva in our mouth. Chew it well, and then have your breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. And in less than 2 weeks, you will have a new stomach lining. So sauerkraut, $4 or $5 a jar, can last you a decent amount of time. It's a lot cheaper than the probiotics and other things. There really is no replacement. It's 100% natural as well. So it's really effective, and it's what your body wants. People with Crohn's colitis, the inability to digest fiber. Ironically, the only fix is fiber. The very thing that your body will not manage, is what you need to get better. So there's a fairly simple way effective way, an economical way to fix that. And the one is the digestive enzymes, vegetable enzymes. And they have the effect of, when you do eat, whatever you eat, help your system break down the food that you're eating, making it easier to digest. And because when you start out, at least, you can't digest the fiber, you should put everything that you're going to eat in a blender. I know it like baby food, and do that breaking down. You still get the fiber, but it's not as challenging as mouthfuls of meat and other foods if you put it in a blender. I have personal experience with friends and different folks. Very, very successful. It works very quickly. The digestive enzymes, when you have that problem, is a good thing for you to always take. Strauss does not make vitamins, minerals, or digestive enzymes, but you can buy them, and you take them before every meal, even before a snack if you're suffering Crohn's colitis. And when you blend your food in the blender, most people in my experience haven't had to do that for more than 2 or 3 weeks till their body can start digesting the fiber. But do keep taking the digestive enzymes. So it's that fiber that you cannot stand, cannot tolerate, cannot deal with. That's the fix. You need the fiber. Of course, exercise and stretching, we all know we were given arms and legs for a reason. We need to get some daily movement, whether you're lucky and have a nice garden and go out, pick some weeds and pick off the vegetables that you like. That's great exercise on your hands and knees. You can stretch in bed. You can do some things if you're stuck in a wheelchair. It really is important, because as we age, we lose muscle tone and muscle mass, and we are meant to use our arms and legs. So some exercise is very important. It doesn't have to be strenuous. It's very beneficial if you go for an easy stroll, a walk. In the wintertime, go to a shopping mall when there's ice and snow out and walk around for half an hour. We do need that movement. The other thing is the food colors. Nature color-coded our foods. I don't know whether it was for us or for the other creatures on Earth, but for example, blue foods are good for pain. Green foods are good for energy. Yellow and orange foods, great for kidney, liver, and bladder. So it's best to eat, if you're making a soup or a salad, try and get as many colors in there as you can. Different colors of peppers and the greens, and different colors of onions, red onions and white onions. The more colors, the better. There's enzymes in all of those foods, and we're really meant to have a good mix. To talk more about the formulas themselves, circulation issues, blocked, restricted blood flow. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, diabetics. Here's the answer: Strauss heart drops. If not for these, I wouldn't be here today. It's as simple as that. After that heart attack, I was so lucky to survive just over 5 years doing nothing. I refused the surgery. I refused the pharmaceuticals, and didn't research it. It always made me wonder why I didn't consider natural or do any looking into, because I didn't. Just the luckiest day of my life is when a friend told me about the Strauss heart drops. I ordered them that day from the Strauss company in Kamloops, BC, and I was so hopeful when I got them. And sure enough, in 2 weeks, the hearing returned to my left ear. I could always hear noise, but I could never use the phone in my left ear, for example. Couldn't make out words. 2 weeks, the proper hearing returned to my left ear. I never dreamed that was cholesterol. I never considered that. I thought it was, I've run heavy machinery, cranes and so forth, magnet cranes with the engine roaring. Like most young people, I like to listen to music, and I always thought it was that. but it wasn't. It was cholesterol. After about 4 or 5 weeks on the Strauss heart drops, I began to clear out my bronchial, which was really something for a couple of weeks. I couldn't even clear my throat without stuff coming up. And then I stopped wheezing. I could sleep better. And then at that point, the energy went like this for me. There's no mistaking it. Blood flow is energy. And as I say, as the most important body function, you'll know it. There's no mistaking it. And it's difficult to describe really how your energy can increase. I was blown away really, and it changed my life. I didn't know I had anxiety till I didn't have it anymore. After about a month on the Strauss heart drops, that's when I recognized I'd been suffering anxiety. So that blood flow, there is nothing more important. Every cell in your body needs the blood flow. And the Strauss heart drops with the 9 ingredients have been proven effective over all these years. It's all I've ever taken in terms of the plaque and cholesterol and blockages. It's the only thing I've taken. After 3 months with COVID, I got myocarditis. That's inflammation of the heart. Very serious. I do know how it killed so many people, especially elderly people. It was very tough. A couple of weeks, it was very tough. Walking to the 10 steps to the closest washroom from my easy chair, my heartbeat would go to 200 beats a minute, just flutter. I could hardly breathe. My arrhythmia, irregular heartbeat came back. It was all over the place. The heartbeat was. And so, as I say, there was no mistaking the energy. I mean, it changed my life. And then I became part of it, got involved with Strauss, and I was lucky enough that for 6 years, twice a year for 1 month, Jim Strauss came to Ontario and lived with me and my family. And I spent day and night with him, and it was just the best education about health, nature, how everything connects in nature and everything connects in our health. I couldn't have got a better education anywhere. So Strauss heart drops, incredible for that blood flow that is our most important body function. The other thing that helped me greatly was the Strauss kidney blood pressure formula. In the United States, it's called kidney support. This was incredible for me because when I first met Jim Strauss, I was on the heart drops for over 4 months. And I rode the train out to British Columbia and met Jim. And I told him, your heart drops have changed my life. It's just amazing to me. However, I still have high blood pressure. And Jim said to me, well, there's only 2 causes. And amazingly, with all the incredible diagnostic equipment we have these days, doctors cannot tell us if our heart or our kidneys or even one kidney is the source of our high blood pressure. So Jim said to me, if you've been taking my heart drops for over 4 months and your blood pressure hasn't lowered, then your kidneys are the problem. And I didn't even know they had anything. I never had a booklet. I just was referred to these Strauss heart drops. And that's when I learned they had many formulas. And in 3 months, my blood pressure was reduced to 120/70, where it stayed for 28 years until I got that myocarditis. And when I got the myocarditis, I took the Strauss heart drops, the Strauss kidney formula, and the Strauss cardiocalm, which is what I took almost 30 years ago for my irregular heartbeat. I had what doctors called supraventricular tachycardia. In my case, it was a 1-beat race. I thought my heart was skipping a beat because after that 7th raced beat, the irregularity was very regular. It was 6 normal beats and then a raced beat. Well, that left a span between the 7th and 8th beat that I thought my heart was skipping a beat. It wasn't. It was racing that 1 beat. And I took the cardiocalm for 3 months, and my irregular heartbeat was corrected, which I was grateful for because of all the symptoms with the clogged arteries, the angina, the night sweats, leg cramps, shortness of breath, high blood pressure. Usually we don't feel a thing. That's the silent killer, as they call it. But the most troubling was my irregular heartbeat because I felt every beat. I went to sleep with it at night. I woke up with it in the morning. It really bugged me. And so I was grateful when my heart went into normal again. And once again, that was with the Strauss CardioCalm. Now, very interestingly, Health Canada told the company about 2 years ago that if we added just a slight bit more uva ursi and juniper berries, two of the herbal ingredients in the formula, just two of many, that we could claim it as a calmative for anxiety. And it was at that point that I learned even one of our staff had been using it for that. So if you have irregular heartbeat, the CardioCalm is a wonderful formula. And if you have anxiety, the calming effect, if it calms our heart to beat normally, it does make sense that it would help us with anxiety and to help stay calm. Stress is a killer. Everybody knows that. It's a famous expression that stress kills. And it's true. And we have to do our best to try and avoid it and let go of stress. It's very hard to do. I've been in business for 55 years myself. And there's lots of stress, and family and health and all kinds of things. Money can bring stress to us. Our relationships. There are many source causes of stress, and that CardioCalm formula is a very safe, 100% natural way to help deal with it. And I use it regularly. I like the formula very much because it helped me with when I had heart disease, helped me with the very thing that bothered me the most, and that was that irregular heartbeat. All the ingredients are natural. Some of the formulas are quite extensive. Nothing more than our menopause formula for ladies, the Strauss Menopause drops, have 20 different herbal ingredients. 20. And they work so effectively to help. There's no cure for menopause, but they're so effective to help with the hot flashes, the night sweats, soaking your bedclothes and soaking your bed every night, sometimes more than once. I've heard ladies have to change their bedclothes and their bedding. Just fabulous, the results. Mood swings, hormone imbalances. This extensive formula with 20 different natural herbs is proven effective. We have a lot of ladies taking it with great results. So there's no need to suffer, as so many of our ladies do, with the symptoms of premenopause, menopause, and even postmenopause. There is no need to suffer the way that our ladies do at times. Some ladies get away easier than others, and they don't suffer as badly, but others truly suffer, where all of a sudden they feel like they're it's very strange. But the Strauss Menopause formula, very effective, very safe, satisfaction guaranteed. The other formula just for our ladies is Strauss Women's Wonder. This formula is to help young teens, young ladies, women, as long as they're having a menstrual cycle, help them with the bloating, the cramping, and the things that make it an unpleasant few days every month. Very, very effective. It's only taken 3 days a month. If a woman or a young lady is regular with her cycle, the day before it starts is day 1 of 3. If you're not regular with your cycle, then as soon as it starts, that is day 1, and you take it for 3 days. You take 3 droppers, 3 milliliters, 3 times a day for 3 days. You'll be amazed at the results. When I toured hundreds of health stores in Canada a couple of years ago, I heard from many of the ladies, the owners, managers, that some of their staff suffering and might miss a day or two of work, or their daughters missing school or work because of the terrible bloating and cramping. So Strauss Woman's Wonder, satisfaction guaranteed, safe, 100% natural. So you can't go wrong. And the best of all, you can't be cheated for your money with the Strauss Company. We just refuse to have a dissatisfied customer. All of the issues with bladder these days, all the incontinence, the urgency, the leaking, getting up too many times through the night, which can really destroy your sleep. It happened with my mother, where she was up 4 and 5 times through the night and had trouble getting back to sleep. So her biggest issue was exhaustion. And it's unpleasant, unable to empty your bladder properly and having to go so often. You know, the answer, the Strauss bladder formula, the bladder drops. Again, they have the golden seal root, which helps our body get rid of the bacteria, often the source of where our trouble starts. It's just a great formula. You will see a considerable relief in your symptoms within a week. But please, once again, minimum 3 months. Do the job properly. Bacteria grows back very quickly in our bladder, our kidneys, and in the male prostate, very quickly. And those parts of our bodies can be stubborn to accept help. So even if you're taking a pharmaceutical for something in one of those parts of your body or any part of your body, you want the medicine to get to where it's going to help. That requires proper blood flow and full blood circulation. So once again, there is no more important health product in the world, as far as I'm concerned, than the Strauss Heart Drops. It's just the most important body function. Wherever we have restricted or blocked blood flow, we're going to have a problem. For men, the Strauss prostate formula. I love this formula. I take it myself. It saved my dad. My dad used to go to Boston Medical, and the Heart Drops, the doctors there canceled his bypass surgery after 3 months on the Heart Drops. They couldn't believe what was happening to him with the increased blood flow. And then a couple of years later, I didn't know it, but he was taking pills for his prostate, which he said didn't work because they booked him for a prostatectomy. I talked my dad convinced him he wouldn't die in 3 months, and talked him into taking the prostate formula instead for 3 months. And then I said, Dad, return to Boston. They'll tell you if you still need that surgery or not. Well, he did that, and so help me God, they canceled that surgery, and my dad lived another 12 or 13 years and died with a healthy prostate. Never took another pill. I don't know that he ever took more of the prostate formula from Strauss either, but just very effective to get the job done. Strauss has some great immune products too. The Strauss Cold Storm is a big seller. It's a very big seller. People tell us that where they used to have colds all through the cold season, sometimes maybe never got rid of the cold in the first place, and it would just move around. Head cold is very unpleasant, being stuffed up like that, but it's an endemic. The common cold is, meaning it will always be with us. Just like influenza B is an endemic, we'll never get rid of the flu. And now SARS-CoV, they say, is an endemic. It will never go away. It'll always be there and subject to getting it. So the Cold Storm's a great product. I love it. It's safe for expecting moms and young children. And people tell us that they either don't get as many colds. When they do, the symptoms are relieved within 48 hours for the most part. And it's a simple, very effective formula. Once again, that's the Strauss Cold Storm formula. Safe for the whole family. children over 6 and expecting moms. The other thing that's safe and very effective, there's a very popular over-the-counter formula that deals with nausea and motion sickness. It also will put the kids to sleep. The Strauss formula won't do that. They won't knock your kids out. But the travel bug formula, very effective for motion sickness, airplane, boat, car. Some people really suffer with motion sickness. And again, safe for children over 6 and expecting moms. And there aren't a lot of things that are approved and available for pregnant women. But those 2 formulas are among them. Finally, very, very powerful is the Strauss Immune Drops, the immune formula. Also has that gold root, nature's strongest antibiotic herb. Very, very effective. I just took it recently. I had a trip to the Arctic. Our ship recycling and shipwreck removal company has a large project up there. And I drove actually almost 8,000 kilometers in 7 days. And actually in the Arctic Ocean, where the job is, this giant structure that we have to remove. And so I was out in a boat several times, and I should have realized it would be quite cool temperature-wise. And one day the wind was blowing pretty strong, and it affected me. I got under the weather, and I took the Strauss Immune formula, and once again, amazing how quick my symptoms were relieved. And I took it for a total of about 10 days and just felt a lot better very quickly. So that's the story with these herbal formulas, is that they work. They're very efficient. I mean, Strauss always said to expect man-made chemical drugs to heal or fix us would be like taking our automobile to the lumber yard to use plywood and 2x4 to fix the automobile. You can't do it. You need materials that the automobile is made from, steel and galvanized steel and insulated copper wire and aluminum and some plastics. You can't fix your car with wood, and humans can't be fixed with man-made chemical drugs. There was no chemical drugs when humans were created. There was only herbs and plants and fruits and vegetables. That's all there was. Still 2/3 of the world relies on natural medicine. 2/3 of the whole world relies on natural medicine. I've yet to hear anyone tell me that their doctor said, Mrs. Smith, your blood pressure is good. You can stop taking the pharmaceuticals. They don't even claim to heal or fix anything. They deal with symptoms. So they're not doing a thing for why we can have high blood pressure. Just deal with the symptoms. In the case of blood pressure, with the numbers. And if you have high blood pressure, in our experience, once again, sorry, I'm searching for the bottle here. The Strauss Heart Drops and the Strauss Kidney Formula taken together, because we don't know if it's our heart or our kidneys, and our doctors cannot tell us. There's no diagnostics to tell us which. I only knew it was my kidneys because the heart drops didn't lower my blood pressure. If it was your heart, the heart drops will support your body to normalize your blood pressure. If it's your kidneys, the Strauss Kidney Formula will do that. If you don't know which it is and you don't care, if you take both those formulas, Strauss Kidney and Strauss Heart Drops, your satisfaction is guaranteed. If your blood pressure isn't lowered, you must get your money back. So they're tried and true over all these years, almost 5 decades now. And the Strauss family, 8 generations of medicine men and women and natural herbalists, master herbalists, and they really had their craft down to a science. Really, there is nothing in this world like the Strauss heart drops for circulation. There's nothing like it. Certainly not the statin drugs that seek to deal with your cholesterol. They don't even claim to remove a grain of plaque. Nothing, not any of the material that's restricting or blocking your blood flow. They don't claim it because it doesn't do it. What they do largely is govern your liver to produce less cholesterol. Well, your liver has many functions, apparently 200 functions, and you don't want to govern down the operation of one of your organs. We sure wouldn't do it to our heart. We wouldn't want to do it to our kidneys, our liver. No part of our body do you want to put a governor on. You want it to work as it's meant to work. So I just this morning watched on the internet a cardiologist talk about, in his opinion, no one should take statin drugs. And they're the biggest selling drug in the world are the statins. They don't sell all other drugs. It's almost a guarantee if you have anything heart related, the doctors seem to put people on the statin drugs. And keep in mind, maybe people are under a misimpression that it will help remove a plaque and the stringy fats in our carotid arteries that are restricting or blocking our blood flow. They don't claim to do that, and they don't do that. So you want to think long and hard about that drug. I feel the same way personally about blood thinners. And amazingly, nature is so amazing. The Strauss heart drops, in our experience, will thin your blood if it's too thick for you, and thicken your blood if it's too thin for you. We know this from some good friends who were blood thinners and continued on them when they took the Strauss heart drops, including my best friend and football teammate, Joe. So again, your body knows what to do with natural substances. It just knows what to do. It's one of nature's miracles. Our bodies don't know what to do with pharmaceuticals. And so we must be very careful. And at least, as I said, read your paperwork so that if you're having a serious side effect or a harmful effect, you can let your doctor know, and they'll do whatever they're going to do. But if you don't know, then you're going to suffer. So please read your paperwork. Otherwise, I hope you consider trying the Strauss products. You know, when it comes to prostate, it's a funny thing with humans when we're healthy. It seems to be human nature that we think it'll be the other person that gets the disease. It won't be us. It's just a human nature thing. Of course, until we have something go wrong with us. And in the case of male prostate, more than 50% of all males will have a serious prostate issue after the age of 60. Well, that's more than one of every two men. So I think the attitude that it won't happen to me isn't a sensible attitude to have when more than half of us will have. I had, my dad, you know, it's a fact. It's not fiction, it's a fact. So consider these formulas. I hope you give it to yourself today. The ladies, if you're suffering during your menstrual cycle or suffering with menopause, as so many do, you won't believe the effectiveness of these formulas and how they can help your body do what it has to do. There's no cure for either thing, obviously. They're natural processes of the female body, but you don't need to suffer the way so many people do. I hope you give it to yourself today. And once again, thank you for joining me. It's been my pleasure to be with you, and I hope you join us again. And in the meantime, stay healthy, drink enough water, and consider the fabulous Strauss Naturals products. Thank you very much, folks.